Yahoo! It's tomato time.
Okay, that's right.
And tomatoes grow, they have a couple different growth habits, and Jim, we covered it last year, but briefly tell us what that is.
Well, there's determinate and indeterminate.
Okay.
Hard to remember, but the early varieties have a tendency to be determinate. They grow to a certain point, and then they kind of quit growing and produce their fruit. Great in cages. This happens to be an early girl, which is great for that.
Good tomato.
But most of your really good late season tomatoes are indeterminate, and they have a tendency to just keep growing and growing and growing, and they'll continue to flower as they're ripening the fruit.
Okay.
They'll keep right on growing if you have a longer season. And they're better on stakes or even a trellis or something.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, you can really grow tomatoes if you don't have the ground space. You can really get them right into a large pot too.
Right. I mean, this one's grown in a big 5-gallon pot here, and normally I'd suggest something a little bit bigger because they are very heavy feeders. They need a lot of fertilizer, but they need a lot of water once they get to that producing stage.
Okay. And even in a smaller space over here, we have an earth box, and those are pretty wonderful too. Tight spaces. You can get 2 tomatoes in there, and on their website they even have contests of how many tomatoes you can get out of one planter.
Out of one plant, great.
It's amazing what it produces. Now, Jim, we had some disease issues a little while ago, and what's your take on that now?
Well, a lot of the tomatoes get diseases early in the season. You'll see spotting and blighting and whatever, and it's early blight, and it's usually not that big a deal. The problem we had 2 years ago with the late blight is a different issue, and there are some materials that you can apply to kind of prevent that. A little bit proactive. But in the next segment, we're going to talk about some tomato varieties, and we have a couple varieties that are resistant to late blight.
Great. So be sure and tune in. I'm Casey Kraus.
And I'm Jim Hotang, the Home Gardeners from Hillside Garden Center.